This is Fantasy Football Today from CBSSports.com.
Welcome to an exclusive presentation of Fantasy Football Today for CBS Local Sports. I am Adam Azer with Jamie Eisenberg and Dave Richard. And we're talking about busts, guys that are just going a little bit too high. Maybe you want to avoid them. Dave, RG3, Robert Griffin III, he's a bust for you.
Draft average at about 90th overall. I don't want him on my fantasy team. I think he's looked terrible this preseason. I think he's going to struggle in Jay Gruden's offense. And what do you know about RG3? It's his rushing that helps him become a great fantasy producer. And I just don't know how much he's actually going to run with the football. The zone read is pretty much going to be out of that Washington offense. He's going to have to make up for it throwing the football. I don't know if he can stay healthy for 16 games to make up for it. This is a guy I just do not want to draft. He's big on the bust list.
And Jamie, no rice in your diet. Yeah. What's that?
What a bad joke.
Wow.
Stick to hosting, my friend.
Ray Rice is a bust for you.
Yeah, I just think where he's being drafted, 58th overall, I'd rather wait and get Bernard Pierce a couple rounds later. I think you're going to see a very even split for those guys. PPR league's a little bit different because Rice is a difference maker for that team catching the ball in the backfield. But I think when you're talking about who's going to be their best rusher, would not be surprised if it's Bernard Pierce. Remember, he gets a 2-game head start because Rice is suspended. So I don't want to take Rice where he's being drafted right now. I'd rather wait and take Pierce.
Dave, no CJ Spiller jokes, but he is a bust for you.
You can't come up with something funny like you did for him with Ray Rice?
I can try. So you admit that was funny, what I said earlier?
No, not really. I think you deserve a second bite at the apple, though, with that. But I don't know if I'm giving C.J. Spiller a second chance on my fantasy team. He really struggled this preseason. I think the whole Buffalo offense is in trouble. Fred Jackson is a veteran that everybody's scared to draft because he's old. But he's going to play on third downs, passing downs, goal line situation. 2-minute offense. He's going to be in there. C.J. Spiller is going to be out of there. I'm nervous about him being a contributor on a weekly basis to my fantasy roster. Do not draft C.J. Spiller. His ADP right now, 48th overall. It's the end of round 4. Too soon for me.
And Jamie, that guy in Denver who had that big year last year, he won't be manning the quarterback position on your roster, will he?
It's a good thing we talk a lot. It gives you time to prepare for these awful transitions.
I didn't hear a word Dave said.
Of course you didn't. Yeah. Obviously, I'm drafting Peyton Manning in the right spot, which to me is the middle to the end of round 2. But his average draft position is 4th overall. That's just not realistic unless we're talking about a 2-quarterback league. You're expecting Peyton Manning to break records again like he did in 2013, and that's not going to happen. Last time he broke the touchdown record in 2004, went from 49 touchdowns, saw a 21 touchdown decline the next year. Was still obviously very good, but you're just not going to get the same value drafting him that high. So if you're inclined to take a quarterback that early, don't take Peyton Manning at 4th overall. You'll probably be able to get one of the other 2 guys, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees in round 2. Maybe it's round 3, you target Matthew Stafford. Don't be surprised if Peyton comes back to the pack. Don't even be surprised if Brees or Rodgers pass him this year. Would not be a shock to see those 2 guys get better stats than Peyton Manning. Tougher schedule for them this year than they had a year ago.
For more amazing puns, hilarious humor, and, of course, fantasy football advice as well, check out Fantasy Football Today. We're live noon Eastern time, Tuesday through Friday during the week, and then Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, and Sunday night after all the games are done, except, of course, the Sunday night football game. For Dave Richard and Jamie Eisenberg, I'm Adam Azer. This has been an exclusive presentation of Fantasy Football Today for CBS Local Sports.